All right, what's up, people? Sniper Sports, we're back with you. Live from the 808, we shoot you straight. This is Joey. With me, as always, is Steven.
What's going on?
Basketball, that's what's going on.
Yep,
NBA playoffs, man. Steven, we're kind of right in the middle of the second round.
we are.
We got 8 teams left, 4 series. 3 of those 4 series are tied at 2 games apiece. So it comes down to just, the best out of 3 there. We want to chop those up and see, who's your favorite, who you like coming out on top when it's all said and done. The last series, Boston and Cleveland, they played tonight. Boston won. They're leading 3-1. No, really, surprise there. We kind of
Yeah,
expected that. Boston's very polished and seasoned.
we expect a gentleman sweep. I don't think it's anything special there.
Yeah,
Donovan Mitchell wasn't playing tonight. We all kind of understood that if he wasn't playing, there's a lesser chance of Cleveland coming out with a victory.
for sure. Yeah, their best players out.
Yeah, I'm just not surprised. I mean, the only team I thought that could really contend with Boston is Milwaukee, and they're out. So, I look to them to make it to the finals, and yeah, probably see them in the finals. I mean, we'll see who they play next, but
I agree, Steven.
nothing.
And if you've been watching it, our stance really hasn't changed. We've been, this isn't earth-shattering news. We've both been pretty big fans of Boston. They're pretty dominant in the East. We expect them to come out of the East. Yeah, so
Yeah.
no surprise there. They're up 3-1 on the Cavs. Let's go with a different series in the East, Steven.
Oh.
Pacers, Knicks.
I think finally the Pacers are understanding they have a height advantage. That's just me
Yeah.
talking. You have the Knicks there with Brunson leading the way, and what he's been doing has just been amazing. It's been great where he's had all these 40-point games, but I think these last 2 games they've really taken advantage of the height.
Yeah.
And as they should. Indiana with Turner inside, with Halliburton, Siakam, all these guys who are just
Siakam, I
you could
forgot
just really dominate inside and
Yeah.
really slow the game down, and really take advantage of that height difference, especially with the guards playing with DiVincenzo, Hart, and Brunson. So this looks to be an interesting series. Man, the caller right now is just crazy, but I hope Indiana can pull it through. I hope that they're smart enough to play that inside ball.
Yeah.
Rick Carlisle, I feel, is a good coach. He understands the game. And I think he's trying to emphasize we don't need to take so many threes. We control the inside. We can control the game that way. Get these guys in foul trouble. Have to get easy points while they make it harder for them to score, and you can play better defense. But
I
we'll
hear
see
that.
what they can do. New York Knicks are just a vigilant team. They just come out and want to just run the ball, and that's what they've been
Run a
doing
gun.
for these past 2 games. But hey, Tom Thibodeau runs his teams down. I think he has a lot of trust in those 8 guys that he usually has in his rotation. So we'll see if they can last the whole season. But it's a good series. I mean, what do you think about it, Joy? How you feeling about that?
I hate to be on repeat, my man, but I kind of tend to agree with you. I think the Pacers have figured something out here. They're a little bit bigger. The Knicks, their scoring output has been significantly lower in each game after game 2 when they scored the 130 points. So, like I said, I think the Pacers have made adjustments. They figured something out. They're a little bit bigger than them. And as you mentioned, between Miles Turner, Halliburton, Siakam, they just have the players and the length and the depth. They should get past New York. If you can just keep Brunson to where he has a moderate game, then you're really going to force those other role players on New York to beat you. And I simply think that might not be enough. I think because New York is so gritty and they're just going to fight with you tooth and nail. I see it going 7 games. But right now I am leaning towards Indiana wrapping this series up. But I think it'll take them 7 games.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to the West, we had another game tonight, another close game.
Yeah.
Dallas Mavericks versus the Thunder. Man, Joe, I thought this game was for the Mavericks to take. They played hard.
Yeah.
As we saw, Kyrie and Luka didn't have the greatest of games tonight, but I felt they missed a great opportunity to go up 3-1. I thought the free throws were a big missing part at the end. Even though they didn't play, I think it would have been such a boost for their confidence and going into where, hey, we can finish the next game, be done with this series. But now it's tied 2-2. Man, this is another hard one to pick as well. Young
Right.
OKC, young Mavs team. I think it's still too early to say who's going to pull it out. I don't We talked earlier before. You're especially about it being a prisoner of the moment. But
Right.
what are you thinking about this game
Um,
tonight?
I'm going to tell you who I like coming out on this series, but I'm going to lead up to that. I think the Thunder, they're the number one in the West, right? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, a lot of people thought he should have been the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing phenomenal, had 34 and 8 tonight. Um, but I just think the thing I see from the Thunder is sometimes they tend to get a little bit too heavy in playing iso ball and one-on-one,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that could come back to bite you.
Mm-hmm.
I like the experience of Luka and, of course, Kyrie Irving, who didn't have a good game tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He was 4 of 11 from the field, only ended up with 9 points. That's not going to do it. Hardaway Jr., you're absolutely going to need that guy. But I just think if Luka can figure out, kind of like how LeBron, gets his guys going, he
Mm-hmm.
knows what to do, he knows the right amount of points to get, assists, the tempo of the game. If Luka can kind of figure out they can play team ball, and they're more experienced than the young Thunder and wiser, I think the Mavs should come out. I think it's going to go 7 games. It's going to take 7 games. The Thunder are very good. They're athletic. They're long. They're young. But I think Dallas should pull this out with just experience, Steven.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the game tonight. They only lost, I think, by 7 points,
Yeah.
or 5 points or something like
close,
that.
but I think
Something pretty close, under 10.
I know the free throws could have tied it up.
Free
for
throws
them.
were a factor, and Kyrie and Luka were just a little cold from the field. So when those guys are gonna struggle, you're gonna have a result like this. But I don't look for them to repeat that. They'll get it back when they go to Dallas, and I do have Dallas winning in 7 games. I like the series though.
I do too.
Thunder's, man, they're fun to watch.
Yes,
Young
they
team,
are.
they're gonna be around. They're not going anywhere.
Yes, they are.
Last series, man. Let's go with the champs.
Yep.
You're defending Denver Nuggets. That man Joker, the MVP. Man, after 2 games with Minnesota, everybody was saying, "What's wrong with Denver? What's wrong with Joker? Where are these guys? Jamal Murray's not shooting too well." And then all of a sudden, boom, they come out and win 2 games back to back. Minnesota is not playing with that same determination on defense. If you remember, in Game 1, they only held Denver, the champs, to 80 points. Since then, Denver's found a way to get it done, score more points, and now it's 2-2, and it seems like the momentum has swung back to the champs.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things, Joey, just to really hit into this series. I think you're just looking at 2 different teams in these past 4 games. The first 2 games, Minnesota was so great on defense. They were hustling.
Right, for
They
sure.
were going after the ball. You could really see that they wanted it. In these past 2 games, they've looked confused, and Denver has really showed up and really wanted these past 2 games. They wanted to make a statement. Hey, we're still the champs. We're still dominant. And I allude that a lot to their coaching and their coaching staff to get them ready for these next 2 games, especially when they lost at home the first 2 games, and coming back on the road to win these 2 games has just been amazing and been great. But for me, I think it's just the Minnesota and their defense.
That's the key to their success.
Exactly. Defensively, they look lost sometimes on defense. It just doesn't look like they're understanding the rotation of who they're covering, who they're supposed to be picking up on these screening rows. To be very honest, they're playing very soft on defense. Rudy Gobert looks like he's not supposed to be the defensive player of the year. He's getting pushed around by Jokic, from Gordon, from Porter Jr., from a lot of these guys. He's looking very frail out there. He's very frail. Cat, I've never been a fan of his game. I don't understand why he starts from outside. I thought that he could maybe get some mismatches for him to get some other defenders, maybe Murray on him, maybe get Murray in foul trouble. Really
get Joker in foul trouble.
Really do something for this game to help Ant out, to help all these other guys out, because Ant is doing his job. 44 points, I believe, in the last
44,
game.
even in a loss, Ant was still there.
So for me, those 2 little things, it's just Denver really wants right now where Minnesota doesn't, and you can see it in their gameplay, you can see it in their focus. And that's just how I see it. And if that continues, I think this will be over in 2 games for Minnesota. So we need to see that focus and that drive again, especially on defense, for Minnesota to come out against the defending
Making
champs.
excellent points, my man. Definitely. I was going to say the same as far as Cat. You got to give me more Karl Anthony Towns. He's going to need, in my opinion, Steven, anywhere from 22 to 25 points.
Definitely.
About 11 or 12 boards. And, play down low more. Get those guys in foul trouble. We're going to need that from him, absolutely. Rudy Gobert, we're going to need the Rudy Gobert we saw in games 1 and 2. I'm thinking anywhere 14, 15 points and about 12, 13 rebounds, a few blocks here and there. Keep the turnovers low. Ant, he's been the best player on Minnesota easily. Been super consistent, scoring, rebounding, assists. You're getting everything from Ant, playing hard. Funny stat, the last game, Steven, I think Ant was out only for about 2.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And Minnesota was outscored 13-0 in that 2.5 minutes.
Wow, that makes a huge difference.
Then Anthony Edwards was on the bench. So that right there shows you he's the heart and soul of the team. Look, I got Denver pulling this out, and I think in 6 games. I think they found what works, and they're just going to step on their neck. They got every player they need. I've said this before. When Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. are playing well, your 3 and 4 players for Denver, they're basically unstoppable. Even Joker hasn't been the best. He's still putting up big numbers, and they're getting it done. I think that the momentum's shifted here, and they're going to start showing their experience. And I don't think the Wolves will win another game, although it's been a hell of a season for them.
Wow,
that's the way I see it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the champs, but
I'm still rooting for Minnesota. But okay,
don't get me wrong. I like what Minnesota's done. I just think they lack the experience, the inconsistency from Towns and Gobert on defense. I just don't think it's enough.
Okay.
To beat the champs.
All right.
Yeah. So
okay.
Hey, but tell us what you think. That's what we got. We're halfway through the second round. We're getting close to to getting our contenders here and getting these NBA playoffs wrapped up.
Definitely. Some other NBA news. Frank Vogel.
Oh yeah.
Got
the axe.
Got the axe from Phoenix Suns. The GM came out and said that feels that they haven't got, or nobody has gotten the best out of Kevin Durant, and I think it was either earlier yesterday or maybe earlier today. How do you say his name? The new Phoenix Suns coach is a Milwaukee coach.
Oh, Budenhauser, is it?
Something.
Oh, yeah.
He
won a championship with Milwaukee.
Yes, he did. Man, I don't like this move at all. For one, I don't think it's Frank Vogel's fault that this team did subpar, whatever they did. I mean,
right.
I think you all did something to create a fan base and create some noise for the Phoenix Suns where sometimes, it just doesn't work out. And then to fire him after 1 year, not to really get him with the team, and now you have a new coach in there who I feel he shouldn't have gotten fired from Milwaukee, but it's weird to bring him in. I don't know. I just feel sometimes we're just recycling through the same coaches with different teams. It'd be nice to see some new blood, some new coaches that you see with Orlando, with Minnesota. Sometimes it helps just to have that newer coach in there, younger coach, kind of just have different thought processes, philosophies, and so forth. So we'll see.
I actually like that coach from Milwaukee, but I hear what you're saying. Much of the same,
but it's just the same thing.
Same
thing. We're just gonna, Frank Vogel maybe gonna go to Milwaukee now and kick out Doc.
And for me, Steven, I don't know if Frank Vogel really deserved to get the axe here. To me, the biggest thing that stands out and why Phoenix is out of the playoffs already is simply they don't have a bench. Is that Frank Vogel's fault? Did he put that team together?
No, the GM
he did not. And so I'm not sure what you do with that. And especially when you have Durant, Beal, and Booker, 2 of those 3 players provide much of the same things. To have a championship NBA team, folks, it's much like a good recipe. You can't just have sugar. You need different ingredients to balance that thing out. So when you bite into it, it's like, hey, and that's what they're going to need. So I don't know if it's Frank Vogel's fault that they didn't get the job done, but I hear you. They did make a move. They had to appease the fan base, and it looks like the coach was the fall guy. We'll see what happens. I know what Steven's saying. The coach they're bringing in is kind of similar, much of the same. Another coach that fell short just across the U.S. over there in Milwaukee. But we'll see what he does with Phoenix. But he's going to have much of the same results unless they improve that bench.
Yep. But, yeah, that's all we have right now for NBA.
Yeah.
Hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe. Hit a like.
Comments.
Tell us what you think.
And until next time.
Sniper Sports.